Oh yeah, we're back in the decision making dome. So, sorry. Uh, so right now, I also wanted to update on what's happening in the UK process. So we met with the British Council sort of guy. What he does, I don't know. We just interacted with them. It's a free trade agreement between India and Britain, and we're trying to figure out something in the export segment there. I mean, just to see how rules work there and how things are there in that space, so that I mean later. So how I'm thinking is right now I'm focusing on my startup with the current idea, but I'm very well aware that with the speed that OpenAI is going on different verticals, there's a very high chance that they come and integrate later to us, which is fine. But as the CEO, I need to plan for things that can happen in the future and can hurt me. So, I mean, it's a big responsibility, right? As we discussed, it's not just the customers or the product or finance and stuff like that that matters. It's the responsibility I have of my co-founders, my employees, or whatever, my investors, everybody. I have a responsibility towards. The responsibility on my head is 10x the responsibility on any other guy's head. I mean, yes, of course, Shubham has to worry about tech, so that there's responsibility on his head, but a lot of it actually just falls on my head or on Varun's head, but mostly everything falls on my head because um, my job as the CEO is to not only make sure things are running, but to innovate, but to also make sure that customers are coming, but to also make sure that investors, firefighting everywhere, trying to build new things, have responsibility for everything, and make an efficient allocation of capital and time. So this is my job here, and well, that's that. So yeah, back to the point. We were discussing this British free trade thingy, and we figured out that I mean, you can export clothes. That's something. Clothes are easier. Food may not be. In the sense, the amount of checks that are required and the amount of bargaining power these big firms have. So that's something that we need to. We sometimes struggle from. So. This was the update. I had it was a half an hour scheduled meeting, but we had a 1 hour long chat, and it was really great. I mean, the interaction was great. However, I mean, few things that I felt was, one, they take a consultant approach to things. Now consultant approach is great when you're handling bigger companies. I'm handling a Microsoft, I'm handling, I don't know, Fortune 500 company. Yes, consultant approach is great. You have a framework. That's what they do. Use frameworks all the time, tweak it, adapt to your cases, use experience that they have working on previous companies and adapt. But they can just always go away and not care if it was implemented or if it worked in the first place. uh, but for us, we cannot afford that, right? So I thought that this guy, and they were trying really great. So I would say that they were really helpful. No comments on that. It's just that they are taking a more consultant approach to small and medium businesses or startups like us, where there's a difference, right? There's a difference between small business, a startup, and things like that. Startup has to grow very fast. That's the nature of it. Small businesses can grow at their own place, and they are just at their own pace, and they are restricted by the amount of capital, revenue, things like that. So that's why they are small, and then they become medium and big. So those are the things. And I think when you are advising startups, you have to have, he had and the guy we were interacting was great. Like, he had a great experience building his own company, food export, this and that. But I do believe, however, when you're interacting, you should have more of a founder approach, in the sense that we don't have the resources, right? Like today I'm deciding between database, what kind of thing to use. I have to code everything, and it's not that I can A/B test like a bigger or a venture funded company that they can A/B test different things. I can't do that. I can't do A/B testing all the time. So what I can do is build everything myself and see how it works. So yeah, so today's decision is all about that, and I'm gonna do it. Figure out ways to make it better. Make decisions for today. I have to talk to a lot of people today actually, and I gave a feedback to another guy who gave me a pitch. I think he's working on the live commerce thing. I don't know when the video is viewed in the future, if somebody ever views it, if it's a thing or if it's not a thing. Like when we worked on this thing, right? AI translate. So what we did was a translator thing that we submitted to IC, where you can have low latency to zero latency translation between speaking and listening and things like that. But it didn't work out. So yeah, I have to do that. Then I also need to talk to my friend from UAE. What's her name? She's also gonna help us ideate for what her name. Well, that is not good. Zainab, yeah, to talk to Zainab today. So that's that. Let's get back to code and let's get back to figuring out if there's a way to make it faster versus a capital allocator. I mean, if I take like 10 days to code something great, it's not great, right? With the time I have, I need somebody there who's gonna do it full time, and then it's great. Okay, out.